Welcome back to the Daily Hunt. I'm Henry, and we are just starting this week now, and it's been a very, very volatile pre-market. And I'll be covering mainly the VIX, or initially the VIX, and then we'll be going into the stock market and crypto. I think crypto will be having significant sell-offs here. And I predicted this around Friday, Thursday, that we were going to get the sell-off, and the key reason was Bitcoin dominance having a bullish divergence. I'll be explaining all of that a little bit later on in the video, but let's get started straight away with my analysis of the VIX and where we're sitting. So with the VIX right now, you can see that there is a head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulder pattern happening, which is very bearish, which is very bullish for the VIX, but bearish for the market overall. For me, the trigger point today was this level above 15, where I would start being very cautious about my risk management and position management. And that's exactly what's happened. If we were going to go below 14.5, then I would have expected the market to be very bullish going into this Monday. So let's see what happens after opening, but this is the main problem that we have with the markets, and this is what I shared in my Discord group as well. You guys are welcome to join that by following the link in the bio or the description of this video. So here we are with the VIX. For me, that's the main issue. Then the RSI as well, breaking above the midpoint. And we need to have maximum caution here. The main reason is usually when we break above this area, we see a big move. And the next move is all the way up to 18, 19. And then if we break that level, then we might be going to big sell-off territory. But at the moment, it's just an initial trigger, initial sign that there is volatility. And it makes sense when we think about a big decision happening in the markets. We have interest rates being decided this week on the 18th, and the forecast is 4.25%, so 25 basis points reduced. I think the market's pricing in probably 3 of these. It depends how quickly we can get these reductions in to save the jobs market, because last week we saw 263,000 jobless claims, a very, very high number there, getting close to those trigger points for a recession. And it's a big worry for me at the moment. And it's my main concern with the markets. Okay, so that's the VIX. Now let's go into the S&P 500 and see where we stand. I actually want to go into the US 500 just because pre-market these move with capital.com. I am not promoting capital.com here. I'm just saying that this is what I use for pre-markets, just to analyze the charts. As you can see here, break even, nothing really happening in pre-market, a little bit of a move up and then a bit of a sell-off here as the volatility increases. We have plenty of room to go a little bit higher on the RSI, so maybe a trigger point will be over 75, or maybe around that 75 level for a sell-off. And that's what I would be looking for here. With the S&P chart, as you can see, I've been sharing this for the last 4 or 5 days now, but there's a channel moving up and it's moving up higher. The main thing that I'm looking for is a break above the midpoint. If we break above this, close above it, then we have a huge potential to go to 6.7K. And for me, that's a resistance level I've identified, maybe even 6.8K I've identified since December of last year. Let's go to the NASDAQ now with the US 100 so we can see the pre-market. Okay, US 100, a bit of a sell-off here, makes sense. The market is very, very cautious at the moment and the volatility is increasing. So there is an element of fear that maybe traders have bought the rumor and then they sell the event. So they bought the news, they sell the actual event, and it makes sense. But when I look at the NASDAQ, I still see potential here for a move to around 24.9k, as high as 24.9k. So around this level here, 25 would be the next point. Let's see how it moves today. There is this resistance here at the overextension zone that I had since December of last year. And for me, it's looking pretty good. I think the Nasdaq is looking stronger than the S&P 500. We've seen big moves in Oracle, AVGO, and some other big players in the markets, and it's moving really well here. With the Russell, I see a bit of fear kicking in, because again, the volatility is increasing, but also I think that investors are a bit fearful of what Jerome Powell will say as well. Okay, so it's not just a matter of will interest rates be reduced and will we meet those targets. It's a matter of will we also get. It's also a matter of will we also get the right amount of interest rates to drive small caps higher here and risk on in the environment. And what I want to emphasize here is I think we might have problems with the job markets beyond what we currently have. Even interest rates won't help the jobs market, just because I think companies are more inclined to go into AI and technology. So if there is cheap capital, I think they raise cheap capital, or they borrow cheap capital and then they invest it into AI. So I still see the job market having issues. I just think it might be delayed maybe 6 to 9 months, taking us into April of next year, Feb or April next year, and then we get some really negative signs with a potential recession in the market. So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment as a potential scenario, and I think it's very, very likely with the way things are going and how AI is advancing, as well as companies being more inclined to invest in AI and tech rather than hiring more people. That's the stock market. In terms of my portfolio, maybe the best thing to do is show you in my Discord group. Okay, so this is what I posted on Saturday, because the markets are closed. And this is my current portfolio. So you have IQ there up 31%. You have AMPH, which is down around 5% here. I'm trying to manage this quite carefully and seeing if it's going to bounce. But big winners here, just to not focus on some of these lesser trades. But let's focus on ENG and 46% gain in 22 days. We have Rivian 2%. That dumped a little bit. That was a lot higher. That dumped because Rivian had problems with some of its vehicles, and it just caused a bit of a sell-off there. We were around maybe 12% on this one before the dump. RKLB 12% on this one. We held through 22 days, and then now it's showing some momentum for a trend. Alibaba 23%. Baidu 22%. That's the Chinese plays that we made. And then we obviously had Rivian with the EV, and Tesla here, which is up around 12%. With Tesla, the thing here is I did enter around 315. So this is just a re-entry. So we're actually running on larger profits than 12% on Tesla. And then the Hain Celestial group, which I have also mentioned in my short reels, is up 10% since my entry on 1.95. And then finally BM&R, which moved really well in the last 4 or 5 days, up 16%. And then we've had RGTI, so Rigetti, QBTS in the quantum plays doing really well here in the last few days. So yeah, overall we've played crypto themes like BM&R, SBET. We've played some quantum plays here with tech and small caps, and we have also had some nice rides on these other previous trades for the last 20 days, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. So overall pretty good on my stock portfolio here, and this is the reason why I suggest that you guys join the Discord group, the novice trader group, which is just an entry level where you get the market analysis and you get my macro analysis as well as my watch lists for the day. I don't provide signals, it's just watch lists. You'll get to see these types of ideas. I share them as a watch list. You guys can make your own decisions, or you can then join the apprentice trader group later on. But I know how hard it is to trust in this market and in this industry. So that's why I've built a way for you guys to have a low cost way of looking at my ideas and seeing if they're worth anything to you. And then if you enjoy that and you enjoy the way that I trade and then the level of profit that I can generate with the ideas that I share, you can then join the higher levels and learn my strategy as well. But let's get back into the analysis of the market. So if we remove Discord, we go back now into some new ideas I had over the weekend. So we have Adobe, which I also shared on Twitter as a potential idea. Adobe here, consolidating really, really nicely. And I think a break above 363 could be a key trigger point for Adobe. We have had this long-standing trend line, which has found resistance multiple times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. It's an early watch list idea. It's not yet ready. And then we're also looking at this one as a potential idea. It's Big Bear. I ended up doing a video as a reel explaining my last 2 trades with Big Bear, and I think this could be a third trade here, which I can probably share on my reels as well. So yeah, it's looking like a nice potential play here. There is a bit of rejection around this level, so I'm being very cautious here. I don't want to take too much risk on straight away, especially considering that there's volatility in the market and we could sell off. And my portfolio is looking pretty good, as you saw a little bit earlier in the video. It's been very, very good in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Other ideas, they'll be shared in the Discord group. That's why I'm recommending you guys go and join. I share ideas every day there in the watch list, as well as my overall market analysis before I even do these videos. So yeah, you can go and join that. Now looking at crypto, we can move into crypto now. And for me, I expected a little bit of a sell-off in crypto going into the Fed decision, and it makes sense. Volatility, indecision, fear, uncertainty, all of those emotions will be going on right now in the crypto market because it's very, very manipulated. For me, what I don't like, and I'll explain it here, is we are in this descending channel. Okay, we have resistance here. This descending channel can lead us all the way back down to 100K. As I predicted a few weeks ago, we had 2 scenarios: a rejection around the 114 level, and then we go back down for a double bottom or to 100K, or we move up higher and we have potential for a move up higher to 125, or as we have here, a rejection. And the rejection is coming because we have now a channel developing on the 1 daily chart. And this is a common occurrence. So we've seen it before here in June, and we've seen it here previously in Feb of this year, as well as March to August of 2024 as well. So what Bitcoin tends to do is it trends, does a descending channel on the 1 daily, or you would call it a bear flag, and then it breaks above and continues the trend. That's what it's done for the last 2 years, and it's looking like it's doing that right now. Now, within this, like I said, we could go back down to 100K, bounce, and then start the trend. So that gives us the opportunity to potentially take a trade around the 100K level, and I can exit here for around break even. So I'm watching very, very carefully what's happening today and the next few days and how the market responds to the interest rates. It could happen before that we end up going down here, and I will be making decisions quite quickly. and selling off if I have to, and then I could always re-enter. But at the moment, it's looking pretty decent. It's looking like it's just volatility and uncertainty, and then we'll probably move up higher. But it's a 50-50 scenario, because obviously it depends on how the news is interpreted and seen by traders and institutions. So that's basically what's happening here. It's very, very risky. There's a couple of scenarios I'm running in my head, and obviously should explain that to you. Key pivot point is this break above there. We've entered a little bit early. We're comfortable. We're waiting. Ethereum. I would be okay with this dip happening. We are in a wedge, so potentially it could be a deeper dip, and then we go up higher, or we break this this trend line, this ascended trend line here. We break it, and that could be a trigger point for a short position all the way back down to 4K, and then potentially 3.7K are the zones I'm looking at, and then even 3.2K. That would be a complete crushing impact on the market, and it would destroy the momentum that we've built so far in crypto, especially alts. So if we look at some of the alts that I have traded, we can look at Cardano. I did mention to you that or I would like to mention here that we need to get a higher high on this for the trend to continue. And if we break this, the trend is finished. We do have higher highs in some of them, which are like Mana here, which is trying to do a higher high. We'll have to see if that's going to follow through. We also had some decent plays with AVAX, which is creating higher highs, but not all of them are showing strength. And we need some of the big players like Cardano and Chainlink to do a higher high if we want this to start now. Otherwise, we're taking on a risk, holding through, and I will be looking to cut positions and get out of some of the positions here. So again, I can show you guys where I am with my positions here. So if we go into part of the community where we have the crypto positions, there you go. We can see that I am half winners basically and half losers. We have some small winners and small losers, which are kind of balancing each other out, and then we have some bigger winners. That's basically where I'm at. So I could be in a position where I break even in this move if we fail with the run higher, or I'm early. I've got some decent positions like ENA. I got Mana. I got EIGEN, AVAX, and so on, which run, and then we have momentum kicking in on the other ones as well for recovery and the push up higher. So I could be in a very, very strong position. So it's kind of break even, or we make a lot of money with these opportunities that we've traded. So that's how I've played out this scenario or this situation right now. We're entering these trades around the 3rd, the 7th, and the 8th. That gave me a bit of a buffer. Then I've added some trades recently, which aren't doing too well. But these are if the market moves well after the interest rate decision, we would see it push up higher and perform better. And by the way, guys, all of these trades have been shared in my apprentice trader level of the Discord. So all of the traders there have seen my entries and my stop losses and the preparation I've done to enter in these trades. In the cheaper version, which is the novice trader, where you just get to see the watch list, these have also been shared in the watch list. So you would have been able to see what I was watching and why I was watching these in the novice trader community. But if you want to see the actual signals, you would have to enter the apprentice trader level. And that's basically how I've structured it, so that whoever's curious can go and see the proof and go and see the watch list and maybe use them. And then the apprentice trader is if you guys want to copy and use some of the signals and ideas I have. Of course, it's just for educational purposes. I am just sharing my ideas on there and my entries for complete transparency. That's all I'm doing. So here we are with crypto. Yes, we've had a bit of sell-off here. I was expecting this dip, and the reason why I was expecting this dip is Bitcoin dominance. So I was expecting the Bitcoin dominance to fall, and that's fine, that's acceptable. But I also warned you guys in the previous videos that we have a bullish divergence developing on the Bitcoin dominance, which could trigger a move up higher on the dominance of Bitcoin and a sell-off in alts. And that's exactly what's happened. What we need is we need a rejection around this area of 58 or 59. 58 would be ideal so that we don't have to sell any of our positions. 59 would lead to some liquidations, I think, in the market, some significant liquidations in the market, and hit a lot of stop losses. And then the 60 level would be entering some shorts. And I think the market then, if it moves back down, the dominance would liquidate the shorts as well. So that's where we're standing with this situation. We have to monitor it and see how it develops. But it's looking like Bitcoin dominance is going higher and some alts are selling off, but it's within the area of it being a consolidation and then just a basic dip rather than a complete sell-off. Okay, and another reason why I thought this would happen is trigger points. Okay, so in January 2021, we saw the monthly break below, and then we saw a bit of a move up higher, and then a break below, and then the complete trend, which developed into an alt season. So if we want an alt season here, we would need a break below this previous month, which is August. We had that, potentially trapping some traders in alt positions. I could be one of those traders being trapped. Like I showed you guys, not all of my trades are winners at the moment in crypto. But we do have some bigger winners which will compensate some of the losers. And what might happen here is a fake drop below, which happened. And then we move up higher, close up higher, and then we sell off on the Bitcoin dominance, or we drop on a Bitcoin dominance in October or November for that big move, or alt season, as everybody would call it, in alts. Okay, that's the kind of scenario that I'm running in my head. I think it's very, very likely when we look at the daily here for the bullish divergence and the kind of movement we're seeing. So let's see. It could be two traps happening: the trap in the long side, which might have happened last week, and then the trap on the short side if we go a little bit higher here to around 60. And then there is where our trigger point is for a long position in alts, and that would be the big winner for the market, where we would go from dominance being around 60 to then moving below 58 and then moving across to levels like 54 and 50 for a really significant run in alts. That's what I'm looking at. So 60 would take us here around this level. You see on the weekly, around the key EMA levels here. I think I covered everything here with crypto. There's nothing else that I would like to cover here. I think it's generally the situation. Maybe the USDT dominance, but that's not moving at all. Understandable. A little bit of a move up higher here. And like I said, that's connected with a broader market seeing some fear and profit taking and selling off going into the decision this week. Okay. Now let's go into some commodities. We'll cover commodities. I want to cover gold first, and then we'll look at the dollar, the oil, and gas. Gold is consolidating here. For me, it's always been 3.7 as the key level that I'm aiming for. The reason being is we are in a potential channel. As you can see, that would be the channel there. Gold also moves within channels. So it's very likely that we hit this level, and that could be the peak. And we're seeing some signs of this potentially being a peak now, and then maybe just another extension to that level. We covered gold for many weeks in the Discord group, and our level was 3.3k, 3.4k as the trigger point for this move up higher. Now let's go on natural gas. I've mentioned this a few times. I think we can go bullish on this one this week. I will be looking for some stocks within the sector for a potential move, which would take us maybe like 40%, 30% on natural gas. And if we can get some decent stocks, we can probably make double that. US oil consolidating has a trigger point of this level here for me, around 63. So 63 for me, above 63, we should be looking to take long positions in US oil or oil stocks. And I'll be covering these oil stocks and sharing these screens in my novice trader community, where you guys get to see all of my screens and watch lists and overall market analysis. The Dixie consolidating as well. I mentioned that it's been consolidating for a while. Trigger point again, where we might see a sell-off in the broader market and a move higher in the dollar. 97.998, approximately 98. Okay, that's it. I don't really see, and then obviously the short position would be, I think, the RSI here going under 42. RSI under 42, then we go to around this 30 level, and then maybe we get a big buy up. But at the moment, it's consolidating. I think the market is very, very uncertain. Yes, we've seen some big moves in stocks, and you just have to be positioned in the right ones. And then we have the Chinese market here moving up a little bit higher in pre-market, but around where we were on Friday anyway. It's not really a gain or a loss, it's about break even. And then we have some European stocks moving really well here. I think safety's kicking in. So we have the French market moving pretty well. So I might be looking at some French and European stocks, like BNP. Let's see what BNP is doing. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but yeah, BNP was a big performer for me in January. This was the trade that I took. Since then, I haven't really liked it. And ACA, again, finance, banking, but this has been consolidating for a while, so maybe it breaks up above. I don't really like any European stocks at the moment, but I was just giving that as a potential idea. Okay, I think that's it from me. Again, I will reiterate that if you enjoyed this content, go and subscribe to the channel. It's completely for free. I will be doing these videos nearly every day. It's some situations where I don't see it as useful or there's no new insights to add. I might do it every other day, but mostly this will be done every day. It's like a daily podcast for me, or a daily show. And go subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. And then if you're really curious about what I'm watching every day and the new ideas that I'm looking at, and you want to see it in real time, go and join the Discord group. It is very, very cheap at the moment. I'm doing it for the first 100 members to join the Novice Trader group. At the moment, we have around 65 members, so there's only about 35 places left at that rate, and then we will be increasing the prices once we hit the 100 member level on Novice Traders. But it's good for you guys that are beginners, that are looking to just dabble and see what ideas a professional looks at, and then also for you guys that just want my watch list, you don't really care for me sharing you my entries and exits, you can go and check it out as well and get some ideas on there for a very, very low price. All right, guys, take care and see you next time.